Hey everyone, I'm back to show you how we plant our school garlic in our garden. So here we have right here is one garlic bulb, and we have several of these that were given to us from Grow Pittsburgh. We are so lucky that even though that we've graduated from our school garden program with Grow Pittsburgh, they continue to support our school by giving us seeds and seedlings and garlic bulbs and flower bulbs. So we are so thankful for them and to have such a wonderful working relationship with them, and that they continue to support us. So this is our garlic bulb, and if you can see, there's two, it's round, and then there are two ends. And on the bottom end, if you can see, these are where the roots were of the garlic plant. And then up top, this is called the neck or the stem of the garlic. And so when this piece of garlic was harvested from the ground, it was growing just like this. So our roots were planted down, our neck or our stem were facing up. And so the farmer was able to pull it right out of the soil like this. Okay, so there are two different kinds of garlic. There is hard neck and soft neck. And what we have right here is hard neck. It's more better suited for our climate than soft neck is, and so that's typically what northern gardeners grow. Hard neck has a hard neck or a hard stem on it, whereas soft neck has a softer stem. And if you've ever been into an Italian groceria or an Italian restaurant and seen garlic that has been braided, the stems have been braided, that's soft neck garlic. You can only do that with soft neck garlic. You can't do that with the hard neck garlic, because as you can see, this is really stiff like a hard twig. Okay, so we have hard neck garlic here, and this is the whole entire thing is called a bulb. And the bulb is comprised of the neck that comes down, and then there are individual cloves that wrap around the neck of the garlic. Okay, so what we're going to do is each one of these cloves, we're going to break this apart, and each one of these cloves, we're going to separate them and plant each individual clove. And each individual clove will turn into a whole bulb of garlic next year. Okay, so I'm going to show you what one, we're going to take this one right here, and I just take the neck and I kind of move it back and forth a little bit, and I kind of have to use my fingers to kind of pry it. You can hear it kind of crackle and break apart like this. Okay, so if you can see, this breaks apart. You can see how the neck goes all the way down, the stem goes all the way down to the bottom to where the roots are, and it comes all the way up. And then we have cloves, the part that I broke off, we have these individual cloves that we can break off like this. Okay, and these just wrap around the entire neck of the garlic. You can see me kind of yank that, peel that back like that, away from the neck. There's that neck. And then you can see these two cloves are stuck together, so I'm going to just use my fingers and peel them apart like that. And then the same with this part of the bulb. I'm just going to use my fingers. You can hear that paper kind of ripping. I think this is two cloves right in here. Yep. These are huge cloves. Okay, so I'm going to show you that one bulb that we had like this. We broke apart the bulb into all of these cloves. So one bulb gave us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cloves. You guys can see, okay? And they're pretty big. These are really huge. If you notice, these are actually bigger than most store-bought garlic. And the reason being is this is actually called seed garlic. And the farmer with seed garlic, all seed garlic is they leave the garlic in the ground just a little bit longer, and that gives it more time to grow and get bigger, and so we have nice big cloves that gardeners can then grow with. Okay? So now that we did that, I'm gonna take my other garlic bulbs, and I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna just take them, and I'm gonna peel it back like this, and break it apart into each individual clove. And if you can see how there's paper, you can hear it kind of crinkle. Okay, there's paper on the outside. We're gonna leave that paper there in place. It kind of acts like a little coat, and it protects the garlic, and it will eventually just decompose. But here's some more you guys can see. It's just like a thin paper. Okay, so we're gonna leave that on the garlic, and it'll just decompose and just add some nutrients into the soil. Okay, so now that I'm done separating all my cloves, you guys wanna see? What those look like there. They're huge, huge cloves. Now we're going to get our garden space ready. So I already pulled out our peppers. And so the next thing that we're gonna do is we're just going to loosen up the soil a little bit. Garlic likes really loose, soft soil. So this is mostly, there's a lot of potting soil in here. So it's nice and loose. Likes well-drained soil, meaning that it isn't sitting in a bunch of water. So our garden beds have holes in the bottom so that any extra water can drain out of the bottom. They don't like to swim. So I'm just using my trowel and my hands to loosen up the soil like this. Once I have it loosened up, I'm just going to use my trowel and spread it back out so it's nice and level. Like that. Now, if there's one thing here I'm going to show you guys, I'm going to lift this up out of the dirt a little bit. You guys can see this tubing right here is called drip irrigation. And what it is we hook this up to our garden hoses. I'm gonna show you like this. So this lines the entire bed. Let me yank it out so you guys can see. But it goes the entire length of this bed. Okay? And this tubing has little teeny tiny holes in it. Okay, there's a hole right there that you can see, and there's another hole right here that you can see, and here. And so what happens is we hook it up to our water source, to the hose, and then the water slowly trickles out, and it waters our plants. So that's what this is in here, if you're wondering what this is. All right, so now that we have our soil loosened up, we added some compost to this soil a month or so ago, so I'm not going to do that. But if you are planting garlic at home, you want to add about 1 inch or so of compost to it, and that just provides some extra nutrients to the garlic as it starts to grow. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my trowel, and I'm going to make 3 lines that are about 6 inches. Actually, we'll do 2. We'll do 2 lines, and we're gonna plant them. I'm gonna just use my trowel, and we're gonna go down about 1 inch deep into the soil. Actually, you know what? We're gonna go with 3 lines. I think we have enough garlic. Okay, so I'm just using my shovel to make my little rows. Let's see if you guys can see what I'm doing. So I'm just going back and forth to make my little ridges, or my little grooves, indentations. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna plant my garlic. And if you look at the garlic, it's kind of shaped like a teardrop, okay? There's a flat end down here, and then it comes up wide, and then there's a pointy end on top, okay? The pointy end on top is where the neck is going to sprout out of. Remember, this is called the neck? So that's where the neck is gonna sprout out of, and down here, this flat end is where the roots are going to grow. Remember, this is what our roots look like. So that's the root end, and these are the top end. So when we plant our garlic, we're gonna plant it with the pointy part facing up. And we're gonna put it down only 1 inch into the ground, and 1 inch, about like that, about the size of like your pinky finger. So we're gonna push them down into the ground, about 1 inch down into the ground. And then I'm gonna plant them 6 inches apart. And I don't have a tape measure out here, and I usually don't like to do that kind of thing, so I make kind of like the hang 10 sign, and the distance between my thumb and my pinky finger is about 6 inches. So I'm going to use that as my measurement. So I put one here. I'm going to plant another one. And I apologize, you guys can't see exactly what I'm doing, but I'm going to get a couple of them in, and then I'll try to work on my camera work, and I'll try to do one from one or two from above so that you guys can see. So one of the things that I really like about garlic, and why garlic is one of my favorite things to grow, is because it's super easy and it's super delicious. And it's the last thing that I get to plant for the year. Usually, and the time that you want to plant garlic is between November and December. So this is the very last thing that you put in your garden before you put it to sleep for the winter, and before you harvest your fall veggies. So it's kind of a fun thing for me to do, because I'm always liking to get my hands dirty in the soil. So that's another reason why I like it so much. So I planted my first row. And now what I'm gonna do with my second row is I'm going to stagger them. So I'm gonna do them, instead of having things line up, I'm gonna have them do opposites. So if you guys can see, this is super hard. So I've got a garlic here, and a garlic here, and a garlic here, and here, here. So what I'm gonna do is when I stagger my garlic, I have garlic here, here, and here. So I'm gonna put my garlic in the next row. I'm gonna put it in between these two pieces. So here they are. So in this row, I'm gonna put this one here in between. And here, I've got garlic here and here. So I'm gonna go in between these two and plant it in this row right here. And so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna stagger my garlic. So I've got garlic here and here. So I'm gonna go in the middle and plant it in the next row. And that just gives the garlic just a little bit more space. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to finish up planting my garlic. So it goes about 1 inch down into the ground. And then what I'm gonna do is you guys can see my garlic right here? I'm just gonna gently cover it up like this. I got garlic here, and I'm just gonna cover it up like that. And right here, up. Here's my garlic right there. And I'm gonna cover it up. So I'm gonna do that all the way down. I'm gonna finish planting my garlic and I'm gonna cover it up. And then after that, we get a bale of straw. And so what I'll do is I'll cover that and put that over top of the garlic. And that acts as just like an extra blanket for the garlic to keep warm over the winter. So we plant garlic in November or November through December, and then it'll stay in all winter, and then it will come up in the spring. We'll have little green shoots in the spring, and those shoots actually grow up and will curl around and start to make a flower. And that part can actually be cut off, and that's what we call scapes. And scapes are a wonderful mild garlic flavor. You can make scape pesto with them. You can do all kinds of, put it on pizza. It has a really nice mild flavor. So we'll get scapes from these in the springtime that I will offer up to our Evergreen families. And we offered those last year as well too. So we'll get scapes from this garlic that we planted right now in the springtime in, let's see here, probably about April. And then in July, around July, beginning of July, we'll see the garlic, the leaves come up nice and tall, and they'll start to turn brown a little bit on the outside. And when those leaves, those bottom leaves start to turn brown, then we know it's time to harvest them. So then we'll be able to pull our entire garlic. Pretend this is down here. We'll pull our entire cloves of garlic or bulbs of garlic up out of the soil. And then we can cook with them. We can also share them with our families, so that you guys, if we have anybody out there that wants to try growing garlic, we will share some of that with you guys as well too. So I have all of our garlic that I harvested this summer, and I'd like to offer that up to any families who are interested in trying to grow some garlic. So if you want to reach out to me and send me an email, my email is snkovac, so snkovac@gmail.com. If you want to send me an email, I will be happy to bag up several cloves for you to send home to your kiddos. If you are a GATE student, send me an email too, and I can arrange to leave some cloves at the school that you could pick up. If you have questions and you'd like to try, but you're not sure if you have the right space, send me an email. I'm happy to help troubleshoot with you. Obviously, they do really well. Either you can put them directly into the ground, or if you have a big enough, if you have a 5-gallon or bigger container, you can try growing them in a big container as well too. So please reach out if you have questions or if you want to try. I would love to share some of our school garden garlic with you guys. And so anyway, I just want to say thank you. I hope you guys enjoyed planting with me. I look forward to planting with you all soon and sharing more growing opportunities. Thanks. Have a good night.